cutting job will be easier. So that's what I recommend. This is a crazy video with all of these animals. I got chickens behind the camera, I got cats here, and dogs going nuts behind me. All for the sake of a hill video. Hey guys, it's Brian Mounts. I run turfmechanic.com and the Turf Mechanic YouTube channel. Regular subscribers know this hill behind me well. They see it in the background of most of my videos. Today, I want to talk to you about cutting it and cutting other similar steep hills. If you go about it the wrong way, it can be dangerous and really annoying. Please hit the subscribe button, please hit the like button, and hopefully these 6 main tips will help you with your hill. For the most part, there are 6 strategies that I use to cut steep hills like this and some of the other steep hills that I have on my property. Some hills are a little bit longer and the grade isn't quite as sharp or as steep. Others, like this spot right behind me, are very steep for very short stretches. Strategies will vary depending on your hill. For me, I like to use my push mower on hills like this, short, really steep hills, because my push mower, this is lighter and it is far easier for me to control. Now, in the garage, you probably have 2 hammers, 3 wrenches, and a couple drills. We have multiple tools for different uses. You don't have to use the same exact tool for everything. I have multiple lawnmowers, and although I do prefer using this lawnmower on this really short, steep hill, on some of my longer hills that aren't quite as steep, I will switch over to one of my larger self-propelled lawnmowers because that just ends up working nicer for me. I believe having multiple tools is the right way to go in most situations. And although lawnmowers are large tools, they are still tools. I would recommend anyone that has a short, steep hill on their property to consider getting a second lawnmower just for that hill. Now, having said that, I have 6 strategies that I use. The first strategy is when I cut my hills, I put on my old cleats. Now, this is not an idea that I came up with. I have seen other people recommend doing this, both on the internet and on YouTube. I think it's a great idea, and I haven't played baseball in years, so it gives me another reason to use my cleats. The cleats really do help with grip. I mean, that's the whole point. So if you wear a pair of cleats, you are far less likely to slip on the hill. And man, this cat is starving for attention. So tip number 1, wear some cleats. You'll slip less. Tip number 2 is do not mow the grass when it's wet. So right now, I watered up here yesterday. Everything is still a little bit wet. I probably wouldn't cut here until things dry out a little bit. When it's wet, it's just easier to slip and to lose your footing. It's easier for the lawnmower itself to slide down the hill a little bit. Right now, this is not muddy, so it's not that big of a deal, but the wetter it gets, the more dangerous cutting on the hill can be. Tip number 3, I recommend tending to your hill more often than the rest of your yard. If you tend to the hill frequently, you'll be helping the grass grow better. It will just help. Now, I understand that my hill here doesn't look so hot. I've got lots and lots of weeds on this hill. I've decided that this hill I'm going to naturally transform into a yard. So I'm not really putting products down. I'm just doing good mowing and watering practices and hand weeding. I've got a big video where I've discussed how I'm doing that to this hillside. But the more you cut down everything, the more you make it hard for the weeds to flourish and you stimulate the growth of the grass and you stimulate root growth in the grass. So I recommend cutting it frequently because it is going to be easier to cut a hill that has nice even grass than it is to be cutting a hill that is patchy. It has chunks of grass and weeds next to dirt. Now I've got sections over here that it's like that, but if you cut it more frequently, the cutting job will be easier. So this is a crazy video with all of these animals. I got chickens behind the camera, I got cats here, and dogs going nuts behind me. All for the sake of a hill video. Tip number 4 is, this is just common sense. Do not go straight up the hill and straight down the hill. If you start at the bottom and go all the way to the top and then turn around and go all the way back to the bottom, you are not only going to be doing it the hard way, but you're also going to be doing it the dangerous way. It is so much easier to lose your footing going up the hill or going down the hill than it is to go side to side. Grab your lawnmower, start at the bottom of the hill, and push it up to the point where your feet are still flat on the ground. So for me, that's down here. I can take my feet flat on the ground, push this mower up. I mean, not this far, but I can push it up a good 6-7 feet, and my feet are still flat on the ground. And then I bring it down and I'll just do the bottom like that. And then once I get up here, then you start going laterally. So you go parallel to the hill. Instead of going straight up and down it, you go, not parallel, perpendicular to it. You will be far safer, assuming that your lawnmower has a wide base or it's very light. It should be very easy to manage your lawnmower, and you are less likely to flip it over or just drop it, lose control of it. That's the last thing you want to do while running a lawnmower on a hill. Lastly, I have 2 tips. Don't be afraid of using a string trimmer. If your hill is enormous, then that might be laborsome, I understand. But a string trimmer is far easier to control, and you don't have to worry about losing it like you're holding it. It's not on the ground, it's not going to run away from you. Put on your cleats while you're on the hill and use the trimmer. It might take a while, and you will get the job done safer. Lastly, put your lawnmower on the highest setting. When you have it down low, for me down in my main yard, I cut my grass low. But on a hill, as you can see, there's lots of lumps. When the lawnmower is too low, it is far more likely to get top or center high center, where a wheel is here and a wheel is here, but everything in between is up, which means that the blade is scalping. You're more likely to hit rocks, you're more likely to get that blade to dig into the ground, and when that happens, you're more likely to lose control of the lawnmower, especially if the hill is very steep. Put the lawnmower on its highest setting, and that risk is mitigated. You'll be more under control. Now, I understand that the center of gravity of the lawnmower will be a little bit taller, so take that into consideration. Another reason for having a dedicated tool for the job: find yourself a really light lawnmower. This one is only a 19-inch. Honestly, if this was a really light 21-inch, it would have a wider base and it would be even easier to control. So use a dedicated tool, something that you can handle. Put it on the highest settings so that you're less likely to scalp your ground, and you will be in better control of your mower from start to finish. All right, that's about all I got for you. Thank you for watching this far in. If you're curious, this is the 19-inch Snapper XD. It's a push mower. It's one of the strongest battery mowers on the market. It's also one of the lightest, which is the reason why I like using it here on this steep hill. I have a very lengthy and comprehensive video on the best battery mowers. It only went live in early August 2020. Make sure to click on it and take a look if you are considering buying something like this. They help enormously when it comes to mowing rough terrain, simply because they're so light and so maneuverable. Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. That helps a lot. And I'll see you in the next video.